Okay, we're back here with the Killer Instinct and the Mortal Kombat 4. As you can see, there's a lot of touch-up being done on the outside here. I wanted to show you what I've done inside the cabinet. This is the Killer Instinct. This one had all the wires in it. So as you can see, I put the PCB that I had at home here. It's a board I bought, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. I actually bought, it was damaged, being sold as not working. I sent it to a friend, he fixed it. So I completely rewired everything, plugged all the harnesses in where they belong. I don't like the way this looks right here, but the reason I have this like this is because there's a black wire that I have wrapped around this one right here that I'm not sure where that goes or where it's ending up from. I'm guessing it's going to that. That's hanging down right there that was added in the Player 2 harness. I'm guessing for a ground. So once I get the Player 1 and Player 2 and Player 3 harnesses all wired up, I ordered some from a guy in the KLEV forums that custom makes them. He did a really nice job on my MK3 making me a custom harness. So you can see the tape on there. The reason the tape is on there is because I filled in a couple of holes on a couple of the cabinets here in the front, but I spray painted a glossy black both coin doors. Today I did that, and I'm going to strip down some of the front paint on the control panel, as well as roll with a roller a glossy paint. I also found the manual for Killer Instinct that I had before, so I always like to keep them in the game. Just kind of reminds me of when they came from the factory. And kind of clean this up on the bottom here. I still need to go through with a vacuum and kind of get some of this dust off here. But other than that, it's pretty much cleaned up. I removed all the stickers from the back, as well as the handles. They're right there. And I'm going to fill in all the holes. As you can see, that was a hole. This one here I'm not going to fill in because I'm going to try to figure out what to do with that when I put the back on there, because the back, that big metal piece covers up that, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm going to completely repaint these in a nice glossy black. I started doing that on the MK2 when I got it. That's back there. And I really like the way the finished product looks. It looks really nice. And then I'll just reproduce the serial number decal, and then there's a little foil decal that goes there, as well as the manufacture date that goes like over here, or vice versa. I can't remember, but I'll apply those later. But I'm going to completely roll this and make it look beautiful in the back like it just rolled out the factory. The MK4 needed a lot of work up here. As you can see, I've added a bunch of wood putty up here. It's drying. Then I will sand it all down and make a nice straight edge, and then I'll roll it after I'm happy with it. Again, I need to reproduce the decal there. I'll just sand that one off, and one that was there. I filled in a hole as well right there. And I will obviously continue to roll this and make it look nice like the Killer Instinct. But the MK4, this was the one that was gutted. So as you can see, I've ran all the wire harnesses, including the one up to the coin door. The menu test volume up and down button was from an MK2, as well as this whole harness. As you can see, it's wired up onto the MK4 PCB. The speaker wire was cut, so I ended up clipping off the fitting that was on this and just kind of wire nutting on there. I don't like how it's kind of tight like this, but there's a little slack in it, and this PCB is secured to the side of the cabinet with screws, so it's not going to go anywhere. The power supply and the isolation transformer I had from a previous build that was my original JAMA test rig. So I just kind of installed that here, and the guy shipped me a poster when I had this MK4 a long time ago, so that's in there along with the manual, which is back there. The only thing that I'm lacking in both of these cabinets is that little cash box access panel there, to where the dollar bills or something goes in there. I can't remember what it looks like on the other ones, but it's like a steel hood that goes on the top of that. So somebody probably has those somewhere for sale. But this one's turning out nice as well. I'm pretty happy with it. I had a marquee for it as well. So the marquee is in there. I gotta kind of fix this. I don't like the way this kind of bows in like that. I'll have to get in there and push that back out. But I wanted to show the difference between the monitor hinges for the 27 and the 25. So the guy that I got this from, he said that these, well, he didn't even know, but these had, both of them had 27-inch monitors. So factory monitors hang on these bolts right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see that this hole was drilled here, 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 and there. So when I took this out, I ended up crushing my fingers right here on the knuckles, and because there was probably, I don't know what these things weigh, probably 56 pounds, 50, 60 pounds to get them out of here, but end up resting on my hand. So I'm gonna need some help to get these back in. But he kind of put these little dowels, they look like this. These little plastic dowels. I saw a guy on the KLOV forums that built these as well out of like PVC pipes. So these were like this to create the space needed between the 27 and the 25. The 27 is a lot wider, obviously, and it's also a little bit deeper. So what they do is they raise it forward on the actual bezel, which the bezel, if you look at it over here, the back of it has been cut, not on this one, but on the other one. You can see it's been trimmed right there. So I'm not sure why one was trimmed and the other. One of the monitors is a flat screen and the other one is a CRT kind of oval face like this. I can't remember which one came out of which, but the flat screen is probably the one that was not trimmed and the other one was probably the one that was trimmed. This one, on the Killer Instincts, you can see that he literally just cut the hinge. I don't even remember if he had a screw in there. He might have, I can't remember when I took them apart. But you can see that he literally just sliced it at the top. And I believe the monitor was just resting against there. So it'll be an interesting piece back together if I get both of these working. I dropped them off at my guy Henry at Sharp Image, so hopefully he said he can get them working. This is the panel that was on that. Why they were flip-flopped, I still don't understand, but you know, operators do weird things. And this cleaned up pretty nice. It's pretty nice and smooth. It's only got one extra hole, which is right here. So when I put the new control panel overlay on this and then my Lexan on top, that will be like it never happened. So I'm pretty happy with this. The only thing that neither of these has is, let's see if I can sneak by here. Neither of them have the correct wire harnesses coming from player 1 and player 2 that go up to the buttons and joysticks. So those I'm going to have built from a guy that I was talking about on the KLOV forums. He made me this one here, which you can see is this right here. So this is a factory player 3 harness from an MK3, the 6 wires. And then he made me this right here, which was very nicely done. You can see it just kind of snaps in there and all the proper wires. He's been making them for years on eBay. What he does is he ships you a harness like this. He writes what it's for, and then it goes all the way to the buttons like this with all the correct fittings. And then he sends you out the paperwork like so, and it shows you which ones go where. So he does a really nice job with these. The quality of these are excellent. And the nice thing about it is all the fittings are on here. So you don't have to go and splice a bunch of friggin' wires, and he marks on the cable 1 through 15. And all the wires are in the right spot. It's got the grounding cable. It's just very, very nicely done. So it's not original to the cabinet, but actually it's a little nicer than the original. It's easier to get on and off. But this cabinet, when I got it, was really in rough shape, and I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. The side art and all the artwork looks really fantastic. I'm gonna try to clean this up. I'm gonna try to fill this in with a little lacquer and kind of seal it over there, and then kind of touch up the artwork before I do that. The only real issue I have is this damage right here. When I took the monitor out, it kind of crushed this and pushed this particle board in. So I'm gonna have to, I wood glued this all in. You can kind of see it's still a little loose right in there. But I'm gonna have to rerouter this to match, or just kind of clean this up and just cut the actual edge of the T-molding, that little edge out. So that way it'll just lay flat, and I'll just lay some hot glue along this edge and just let it dry. Clamp it and let it dry. You'll never even know it wasn't bezeled. So, I mean, I can kind of see I've been filling in some holes and whatnot. I got a lot of work to do in the control panel, but this control panel is kind of beat up. It's missing, you know, a whole section of wood over here. I can kind of pull it apart. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to have to take this all apart and completely rebuild this and clamp it, wood glue it, and rebuild it from scratch, all on this side here. That side's not too bad, but if you look at it, it's kind of pulling away. So I don't want to fill it in with wood glue at the top because then I won't be able to get the actual T-molding in there. So I'm going to have to kind of pry it apart like so, shoot a bunch of glue down there, and then clamp it like that, but hopefully the glue won't come up towards the edge. So anyways, I'm about probably 70% of the way done with both of these cabinets. I got a lot of work left to do to kind of clean them up and get them to my standards. But I'm pretty happy with the way they've both turned out. Hopefully, and most importantly, the monitors will get repaired and will be usable, because those are the things that are the most expensive to repair or replace in anything, in any of these games. The cabinets are very cool to look at, but the monitors are the heaviest, the most expensive, and the most difficult to find because they don't make 25-inch CRTs anymore. The MacVision ones that they made, they're 24.8, nobody sells them. There's a 27/29 that Suzu Hap sells, but it's like 400 something bucks, and I'd rather not go bigger, even though both of these are going to have the bigger monitors. So that's where I'm at with both of these. I ordered a whole bunch of parts, buttons, joysticks, coin door locks, some artwork, and all different sorts of things to kind of clean these up and make them look good. But I'm just kind of letting them sit here for now because I haven't decided what I want to do with like the bottoms. I have to clean up the back. But I'm not going to put the monitors in until I find out if they work or not. If they don't, then I'm going to have to go and spend $800 on monitors, which I don't want to do. So that's about it. That's where I'm at. And look for an update here in the next week or so, hopefully with the monitors.